Hi guys, welcome back to Clumsy Cakes. My name's Amy. So today on the channel we're going to be making some homemade coffee cake muffins with a cinnamon sugar, walnut, and cream cheese filling, and then a streusel topping on top. So let's get started. So first we're going to prep a couple things before we can actually get started with the recipe. First, we're going to make the streusel topping. First, we're going to add our flour, our brown sugar, our cinnamon, and then our walnuts. Walnuts are totally optional. You can leave them out if you wish, or you can use pecans. And now I'm just chopping up the butter into cubes and then massaging the whole mixture with my hands until the butter gets broken up and incorporated with everything else. Next, we're just going to make up the dry ingredients to go into the filling. Some brown sugar, some flour, some cinnamon, and your walnuts. Again, these are optional. You can leave them out if you wish, or use pecans. Next, I'm just making up the dry ingredients to go into my batter. It calls for cake flour, but I do not have cake flour, so I'm going to show you how to make it. It's super easy. This is just 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and I'm going to take out 2 tablespoons. And then I'm going to replace it with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And that's it. Now just add the rest of your dry ingredients, mix it up, and set it aside for later use. Now we can get to making up our batter for our coffee cake. To start, in a large bowl, we're going to add our vegetable shortening. And then add the granulated sugar. And then mix for about 2 minutes until light and fluffy. You can do this by hand or with a stand mixer or electric hand mixer. Add in your eggs. Add in your sour cream. And then just sift in your dry ingredients little by little until all incorporated. It's very easy to just be lazy and decide, oh, I'm just gonna add in the dry ingredients and not sift. It's not gonna make that big of a difference. Let me tell you, it makes a humongous difference. It's the difference between dense and light and fluffy baked goods. Trust me, you want to go the extra mile and sift. Now that my batter is all done, I just want to circle back to the filling and add some melted butter and just mix that around until all incorporated, and then set that aside for the next step. You have some options for what you would like to bake this in. I'm using a jumbo size muffin tin that has 6 cavities in it, but you can also use a standard size muffin tin or a 9 by 9 inch baking pan. I'm just using a 2-ounce cookie scoop to get even portions, and I'm portioning 1 scoop into each cavity. And then I'm just evening that out with a small offset spatula. And then how much filling you add is kind of up to you. I'm using about 2 spoonfuls for each cavity. Now for the cream cheese layer. How much cream cheese you use is totally up to you. I used about half of a block, but we're just taking small dollops of cream cheese and putting that in an even layer on each muffin. Now we're just topping that with another scoop of batter. And then just evening it out with the small offset spatula as best you can. If you don't do this, your muffins aren't going to bake together. When you try to get them out of the pan after they're baked, they're just going to come out in two halves. Now you're going to add one of arguably the best parts of this recipe, the crunchy, sweet streusel topping. So just liberally sprinkle this on top. You want these muffin tins to be about 3/4 full. You don't want to put them completely to the top because these are going to rise just a little bit in the oven. You can see I went a little bit overboard with a couple of these, so they're gonna be a little bit big. That's okay. Now they're gonna go into a 350-degree preheated oven for about 30 minutes. And this is what they look like fresh out of the oven. As you could see from the recipe, these actually don't have any coffee in them. They're called coffee cake because they're the perfect complement to a cup of coffee. This is the perfect recipe to make as winter and fall are closing in. So cuddle up on the couch with a cup of coffee and this delicious coffee cake. If you guys enjoyed this recipe, leave me a like down below. And while you're down there, leave me any suggestions for what you would like to see next. And subscribe to make more delicious messes with me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!